This video is for educational purposes. Memphis is a city in the U.S. state of Tennessee. It is the seat of Shelby County, in the southwesternmost part of the state, and is situated along the Mississippi River. With a population of 633,104 at the 2020 U.S. Census, Memphis is the second most populous city in Tennessee after Nashville. Memphis is the fifth most populous city in the southeast, the nation's 28th most populous overall, as well as the largest city bordering the Mississippi River and third largest metropolitan statistical area behind Greater St. Louis and the Twin Cities on the Mississippi River. The Memphis metropolitan area includes West Tennessee and the Greater Mid-South region, which includes portions of neighboring Arkansas, Mississippi, and the Missouri Bootheel. One of the more historic and culturally significant cities of the southern United States, Memphis has a wide variety of landscapes and distinct neighborhoods. Subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. The first European explorer to visit the area of present-day Memphis was Spanish conquistador Hernando de Soto in 1541. The high Chickasaw Bluffs protecting the location from the waters of the Mississippi was contested by European settlers as Memphis developed. By 1819, when modern Memphis was founded, it was part of the United States territory. John Overton, James Winchester, and Andrew Jackson founded the city. Based on the wealth of cotton plantations and river traffic along the Mississippi, Memphis grew into one of the largest cities of the antebellum South. After the Civil War and the end of slavery, the city continued to grow into the 20th century. It became among the largest world markets for cotton and lumber. Home to Tennessee's largest African American population, Memphis played a prominent role in the American Civil Rights Movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968 after activities supporting a strike by the city's maintenance workers. The National Civil Rights Museum was established there and is a Smithsonian affiliate institution. Since the Civil Rights era, Memphis has become one of the nation's leading commercial centers in transportation and logistics. The largest employer is FedEx, which maintains its global air hub at Memphis International Airport. In 2021, Memphis was the world's second busiest cargo airport. The International Port of Memphis also hosts the fifth busiest inland waterport in the U.S. The Globalization and World Cities Research Network considers Memphis a sufficiency-level global city as of 2020. Memphis is a center for media and entertainment, notably a historic music scene. With blues clubs on Beale Street originating the unique Memphis blues sound, the city has been nicknamed the home of the blues. Its music has continued to be shaped by a multicultural mix of influences: country, rock and roll, soul, and hip-hop. The city is home to a major professional sports team, the Grizzlies of the NBA and the Memphis Showboats of the UFL. Other attractions include Graceland, the Memphis Pyramid, Sun Studio, the Blues Hall of Fame and Stax Museum of American Soul Music. Memphis-style barbecue has achieved international prominence, and the city hosts the annual World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest, which attracts more than 100,000 visitors each year. Higher-level educational institutions include the University of Memphis, Christian Brothers University, and Rhodes College. Occupying a substantial bluff rising from the Mississippi River, the site of Memphis has been a natural location for human settlement by varying indigenous cultures over thousands of years. In the first millennium AD, people of the Mississippian culture were prominent. The culture influenced a network of communities throughout the Mississippi River Valley and its tributaries. The hierarchical societies built complexes with large earthwork ceremonial and burial mounds as expressions of their sophisticated culture. The Chickasaw people, believed to be their descendants, later inhabited this site and a large territory in the southeast. French explorers led by René Robert Cavelier, Sieur de la Salle, and Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto encountered the historic Chickasaw in this area in the 16th century. J. D. Elv Holmes, writing in Hudson's For Centuries of Southern Indians, 2007, notes that this site was a third strategic point in the late 18th century through which European powers could control United States encroachment beyond the Appalachians and their interference with Indian matters, after Fort Nogales, present-day Vicksburg, and Fort Confederation, present-day Epes, Alabama, Chickasaw Bluffs, located on the Mississippi River at the present-day location of Memphis. Spain and the United States vied for control of this site, which was a favorite of the Chickasaws. In 1795, the Spanish Governor-General of Louisiana, Francisco Luis Hector de Carondelet, sent his lieutenant governor, Manuel Gayoso de Lemos, to negotiate and secure consent from the local Chickasaw so that a Spanish fort could be erected on the bluff. Fort San Fernando de las Barrancas was the result. Holmes notes that consent was reached despite opposition from disappointed Americans and a pro-American faction of the Chickasaws, when the pro-Spanish faction signed the Chickasaw Bluff Cession and Spain provided the Chickasaws with a trading post. Fort San Fernando de las Barrancas remained a focal point of Spanish activity until, as Holmes summarizes, the Treaty of San Lorenzo or Pinckney's Treaty of 1795 implemented in March 1797, had as its result that all of the careful, diplomatic work by Spanish officials in Louisiana and West Florida, which has succeeded for a decade in controlling the Indians, was undone. The United States gained the right to navigate the Mississippi River and won control over the Yazoo Strip north of the 31st parallel. The Spanish dismantled the fort, shipping its lumber and iron to their locations in Arkansas. In 1796, the site became the westernmost point of the newly admitted state of Tennessee, in what was then called the Southwest United States. The area was still largely occupied and controlled by the Chickasaw Nation. Captain Isaac Guyon led an American force down the Ohio River to claim the land, arriving on July 20, 1797. By this time, the Spanish had departed. The fort's ruins went unnoticed 20 years later when Memphis was laid out as a city after the United States government paid the Chickasaw for land. At the beginning of the century, as recognized by the United States in 1786 Treaty of Hopewell, the land still belonged to the Chickasaw Nation. In the Treaty of Tuscaloosa, signed in October 1818 and ratified by Congress on January 7, 1819, the Chickasaw ceded their territory in western Tennessee to the United States. The city of Memphis was founded less than 5 months after the U.S. takeover of the territory, on May 22, 1819, incorporated December 19, 1826, by John Overton, James Winchester, and Andrew Jackson. They named it after the ancient capital of Egypt on the Nile River. From the city's foundation onwards, African Americans formed large proportion of Memphis' population. Prior to the abolition of slavery in the United States, most black people in Memphis were enslaved, being used as forced labor by white enslavers along the river or on outlying cotton plantations in the Mississippi Delta. The city's demographics changed dramatically in the 1850s and 1860s, due to waves of immigration and domestic migration. Due to increased immigration since the 1840s and the Great Famine, Irish Americans made up 9.9% of the population in 1850, but 23.2% by 1860, when the total population was 22,623. Tennessee seceded from the Union in June 1861, and Memphis briefly became a Confederate stronghold. Union ironclad gunboats captured it in the Naval Battle of Memphis on June 6, 1862, and the city and state were occupied by the Union Army for the duration of the war. Union commanders allowed the city to maintain its civil government during most of this period but excluded Confederate States Army veterans from office. This shifted political dynamics in the city as the war went on. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. See you in the next one.